Hey guys, this is Marlene. This is my new YouTube channel. Never had one before. And my channel is called Sophie Cooks 09. This is a channel that's going to be based on just cooking. It's a cooking channel. So I hope you guys will definitely be watching my channel. I'm going to be just posting a lot of different recipes and tips and different reviews of products that I've tried that I've fallen in love with, and I hope you guys watch it. But as of right now, I want to give you a little background on who I am so that you guys know who I am. My name is Marlene. I'm originally from New York, but currently I reside in Utah. So it was a big change. And I still love home. I miss the city terribly. Someday I'm going to move back there, but yeah, currently I live in Utah. I just have my mom, my dad, I have a younger brother. And now he's got 2 kids, so I've got 2 nieces, Cal and Katarina. They're fantastic. Katarina's the littlest one. She's just a baby, and Cal, she's getting into her terrible 3s, so she's a lot of fun. So that's a little background on who I am. And I am a self-taught cook. I didn't go to culinary school or anything like that. I've been actually working in the food industry for over 10 years. So my first job right out of high school was working in the food industry, and I've never left ever since. I love cooking and I love working in the food industry. It's tough working in the food industry. It is, because a lot of people are pining for jobs, but I love it. So it's really nice. And my style of cooking, since I'm self-taught, my style of cooking is very easy, laid back. I try not to make anything complicated. I try to really just make it easy for the home cook to really cook my food. Because I know that we don't, mostly mothers and people at work don't have time to come home and make a complicated meal. So really, you want something easy that you can come home to, and that's what my cooking is all about. Something that you can cook quickly, easy, and from things you have in the fridge and things you have in the pantry. Because really, it's all about how you stock your fridge and your pantry. Because if you don't have things on hand, how are you going to cook? You're going to be tired, and the first thing that's going to run through your mind, oh, I have nothing in the pantry, I have nothing in the fridge. Oh, let's just swing by the drive-thru somewhere. And you shouldn't do that. Really, it's not that difficult to cook food from, home cooked meals. I know now that we're at an age where we don't do it as much as our mothers used to back in the day. But I love cooking. And I take any opportunity I can to cook. I really do. So mostly in my household, I'm the one that's the primary cook in my household. Now my mom's really let me just take the reins and feed the family. So I really enjoy that. I enjoy cooking. And I enjoy also just cooking and entertaining. I love entertaining. Because you can bring a smile to somebody's face. And really, if they're having a bad day, you invite them over for a meal, and they leave with this great, huge smile on their face. So that's a really good satisfaction that I get from that. And like I was saying, mostly my food is very laid back. Nothing complicated. And mostly I draw a lot from Asian fusion. I love cooking Asian. Stir fries and fried rice and egg rolls and spring rolls and sushi. Sushi is a really affordable thing to make at home. Believe it or not, it is. I'll be posting a video on that pretty soon. How to make your own sushi, but it's delicious. It really is. But the next couple of videos that I'm going to be posting in the upcoming weeks is going to be about cooking with grains. I'm going to do a whole series on just cooking with grains. Because a lot of people don't know how to cook with grains, or have never even realized that you could cook with a grain. A grain is not just for having cereal like oatmeal and things like that. No, there's millet and wheat berries like kamut, quinoa, the golden quinoa, red quinoa, which I love the red quinoa right now. I'm really into the red quinoa. And amaranth. Amaranth, I just started cooking with that just recently, like in the last week or so. I got a bag of amaranth, and I'm really, really happy with it. like the way I cooked it, because I made this great recipe. I'm gonna be posting how to make the recipe in the next little bit. It's gonna be a recipe that you guys are gonna love. For people that love Mexican food, I recommend you guys try this recipe. It's a chicken. It's chicken and amaranth mole. And mole is just a Hispanic word for sauce, and it's really delicious. The mole was. It is not your regular mole. In Mexico, you know that they have chocolate and different chilies roasted and things like that. No, this is just mostly based on amaranth, which is the grain. You just have to pop it in a saucepan, and it pops like popcorn. Not quite as big as popcorn, but it does pop. And then you just blend it with tomatoes and canned chilies in adobo. It really is. I mean, it's delicious. The sauce comes out really nicely thickened, and just pour it over the chicken. And it's got sliced onions. And the recipe that I found, it calls for the leaves of the amaranth, which I have not been able to locate. So I just substituted spinach, young baby spinach, because the spinach flavor is much milder than your regular older spinach. So just try to when you guys see the video and all, just try to stick to the baby spinach. And I only use a cup, so it's very affordable meal. And it's a way to stretch a buck. Because I just took 2 pieces of chicken and I cut them in pieces. Because originally the recipe said you're supposed to use 4 chicken breasts. I only used 2 large chicken breasts and sliced them to get pieces. So it was a really affordable way to work with chicken. It really was an affordable way to work with chicken. So that's a recipe that you guys are gonna really love. And I just served that with some brown rice, cooked in a little bit of chicken stock. So that, it added a lot of flavor to the rice. Because you really want the rice to stand up to the spiciness of the mole. And, really, you don't want something bland unless it's something so flavorful. And I've been also cooking with a lot of different other grains, making salads. Because right now we're pretty much in the middle of summer. And it gets pretty hot. And especially during the lunch hour, you don't really want to eat something hot. Don't really want to sit there nursing a bowl of hot soup and things like that. You're really looking for something cool and refreshing. And so cooking with grains is a great way to make salads. And what I'm getting into now is just cooking the grain beforehand, like the night before. I will cook it and just leave it in the fridge in a container, and then in the morning just chop up a few veggies, mix it all up with a little bit of dressing, and you have a delicious salad that gives you protein. It gives you a lot of different vitamins, minerals, and things. Really good. It's really healthy. And the one I made just yesterday, actually, I made it with kamut. It's a wheat berry. It's a golden wheat berry. When you cook it, it's gonna be a little bit chewy, but that's what's interesting about cooking with grains is that you don't want to cook them until they're falling apart, mushy. No, it really is an art cooking with the grain, and it's okay to leave them a little chewy, for them to have a chew, because that's the grain. That's basically what it is. It's not going to cook down as much, so you're still gonna have a little bit of a bite. It's gonna be toothsome, but it's really gonna be good. And one tip that I found, especially just to trial and error of cooking the wheat berry, is that you soak it in the same amount of water that you're gonna cook it in. So with the kamut, it's a 1-to-4 ratio. So 1 cup of the wheat and 4 cups of water. So if I'm going to cook it in 4 cups of water, I'm going to soak it in 4 cups of water. It just makes it easier to remember the ratio, because it's the same amount that you used to soak it in. And then after I've soaked it, I drain that water out, and then I will get a saucepan, a medium size saucepan, don't need anything too big, and then just heat it up until it's heated through, and then you're going to throw your grain into the saucepan, and you're going to dry it out until there's no liquid and toast it a little bit. It's not going to get too toasty because of course you soaked it, but it is going to get a little toasty, and it's going to start smelling nutty, and it's going to taste really good. And I know it sounds like an oxymoron. Why not toast it before you soak it? But it just makes a difference if you toast it after you soak it, because it makes the grain more tender and it takes less time to cook. It really tenderizes the grain. It's just something that I've learned. I've never heard of anybody else doing it. It's just something that I learned. And it really makes the grain much more tender and not as toothsome as if you skip this step. And really with grain salads, you can add onions and bell peppers and tomatoes, and I like to add a lot of avocado into the salads because it adds a little bit of creaminess, and it's really delicious. So I hope you guys will be watching my next couple of videos about cooking with grain. I'm going to be showing you all the tips and tricks how to cook with grain, from soaking it to cooking it to, what vegetables go with what grain and things like that. So you guys will really be learning a lot from that. And I hope you guys do try to cook with grains because they're amazing. Not just for salads, for soups. That's a really good way to add protein. Just throw in a couple of grains, and the quinoa. I also just recently learned that you can pop it like popcorn, like the amaranth. So if you guys are looking for another quick little snack, go ahead and pop yourself some quinoa and some amaranth and season it up, and there you go. You have another different way to eat the grain. You don't have to just eat it in a salad or eat it as cereal, You can make it into something different and something interesting. And I also learned that if you pop it like that, kids will eat it. Especially the amaranth. I had popped some extra amaranth to put on top of the mole, and I just had it sitting on the counter, and my 3-year-old niece, she ate it. Just like as if it was popcorn. She couldn't stop eating it. So it's a really good way to introduce kids to eating grains and different things that they would not normally eat. Because I know kids tend to be picky. I mean, I wasn't picky when I was growing up, but some kids tend to be picky. So just find interesting ways to feed them different things, and they will love you for it. And also, don't be afraid to bring them into the kitchen, because you want to start them on a healthy way at a young age. That's mostly when I have my niece, because I don't have her all the time. When she's here, I try to make things with her. Cookies and cakes and cupcakes, and add a little salt to here, or just a little pepper, or hey, why don't you crack the egg, or hey, why don't you whip the egg. Even like sometimes I'll just make her breakfast, and I just put her right next to me on the stool, and we make breakfast together. So and I know she can't really cook because she's really young, so I don't put her next to the stove, but I put her on the counter and she whips the eggs or helps to pour the milk for the chocolate milk and things like that. So you really should help get your kids involved into the meal preparation, because that will really ensure that the kids will eat. But because they'll feel like, well, I worked hard to prepare this meal, so I'm going to try it because I cooked it. If they cook it, they'll eat it. So it's a really good way to help your children eat things, especially vegetables. Find interesting ways to put the vegetables, and they'll eat them. And now it's no longer about just, before it used to be, like way back in the day, it used to be about covering anything with cheese and the kids will eat them. Now not so much, because a lot of kids don't like cheese. Like my niece is one of them. She doesn't really care for cheese as much. So I'm just finding different interesting ways of cooking the vegetables. And surprisingly, she does like a lot of the Asian flavors, like the ginger and soy sauce and things like that. I don't do them quite as spicy for her, with a lot of ginger, but she will eat them that way. So don't chalk it that your kids won't eat something that you like or something that is new. Don't just say, oh, they won't like it. No. Try it. Give it a try. Because you might find out that they might like it more than you do. And if they don't like it, at least they said they tried it. That's something that I learned from my grandmother. Don't ever say you don't like something until you try it. Because once you try it, you might find out that it's your new favorite thing, or that you really like it. And even if you don't like it, you can say you tried it. If somebody came to ask you, oh, hey, you want to try this? I tried it, and I really didn't care for it, but thank you. And at least you don't look dumb. Oh, no, I don't want to try that. No, just try it. Be adventurous. Be a fearless cook. Try it. You might find out that you like things that you didn't even know you like. So that's mostly what I wanted you guys to know about me and my cooking. I hope you guys will be watching my next couple of videos on cooking with grains. And I hope you try the recipes at home. I really do hope you guys try them. So, I just wanted to give you guys a heads up on my new channel. And I hope you guys keep watching. And have a good day. Bye.